So I've been thinking a lot lately about stress and the stress cycle. Um, which I think is such a timely thing right now that there's sort of an underlying stress in, I think, all of our lives right now. Obviously, collectively, there's a lot of stress to be dealing with, and then individually, there's some fallout from that. And something I've been hearing a lot from different people that I work with is that they feel better after doing the voice warm up. So I wanted to start digging into in my own practice, like, why is that? Why is that? And that led me to Brene Brown's podcast, Unlocking Us, and a recent episode she did with the Nagoski sisters, who wrote a book together called Burnout. And in this book, it's quite interesting actually. One of the sisters is a doctor, and the other one is a has a PhD in music and is a conductor. And they collaborated on this book to write about how stress affects us and what relieves stress. And so I thought this was quite interesting. I want to read to you the list of what they said releases stress. It's quite neat stuff. All right, so we got movement, any kind of movement or exercise, and particularly shaking. And apparently this comes from, I'm sure you're well familiar with the fight or flight syndrome, and that now there's been added to that a third category, which is freeze. So sometimes we, in a period of high stress, we don't do anything, right? But in animals, if they have frozen, kind of like a deer in a headlights, say like a lion was chasing a deer and the deer freezes. If the lion goes away, after the lion goes away, the deer will shake, like uncontrollably shake, as a way of processing all of the flood of hormones that have gone through its body in a response to the stress. And I think we can see this in humans too. Shaking can often happen as a result of stress, right? But it can also be used to relieve stress. Breath is a way of releasing stress. Connecting to other people. Sighing or singing. Laughter, like really big belly laughter. This one I liked. Affection, in particularly a hug that lasts long enough to be relaxed. So a hug with another person, they say a 20-second hug, but really the time is not important. What's more important is that the hug lasts long enough that both people feel relaxed. Breathing together, and creative expression. So I think this is pretty interesting in light of the voice work, because a lot of this, I think, ties into what we're doing already and might be why people say they feel better after doing the work. Particularly my non-actors tend to say this. So I thought, why don't we do a little bit of work today with this idea in mind, that we're doing it to not only to work on our voices and free our creativity, but to see if there's a way it might make us feel better and to cope with our individual and collective stress. So with that in mind, let's get on our feet. And I just want to invite you to take the next 30 seconds to stretch and move in whatever way would make your body feel good. So maybe that's similar to what I'm doing, but it might be something different. But you're just going to open up whatever parts of you feel like they would like to have more space. Oh. Anywhere that feels tight, you stretch into that place and breathe into it. Particularly, you might want to get into your joints. Right, I'm opening up my hips, rolling shoulders, rolling head and neck. And then I invite you to come to standing with your feet underneath your hip sockets and to picture the bones of your skeleton as well as you can. This is just lay people's terms, so it doesn't have to be the same as every single scientific name of every bone, but really just picture your feet bones and your ankles and your shins, the bones of your shins, your knees, your thigh bones, your pelvis on top of your thigh bones, right? Your spine building up from your pelvis, your rib cage, shoulder blades and shoulders and arms, bones of your arms, lower arms, even down to your hands, neck bones, right? Head balancing on top. And then you're going to imagine that you could shake the bones of your arm inside your skin. So it's almost like your skin is like a sack, a loose sack, and you could shake your bones loose. So now we're shaking, and shaking can relieve stress. And then we can send a little bit of breath through that. And then you're going to shake the bones of your other arm. Shaking, shaking, shaking. Shaking to loosen the muscles and also to relieve our stress. We'll send a breath down that arm and out your fingers. And then you're going to shake one leg. You can't see my leg, but you can imagine I'm standing on one foot and I'm just shaking my leg bones loose inside the skin of my leg, shaking my foot off the end of my leg. And then I'm going to send a breath down that as if it could float down my leg bones and out my foot. And then transferring weight to the other foot. You're just shaking your leg bones. And you feed in a breath that can travel down the bones of your legs and out your foot. And then we're going to have to shake our pelvis on top of our legs. You're going to shimmy, shake your pelvis. And see if there's any loosening and letting go that can come from that. And then let's see if can you undulate through your spine. All right, not quite shaking, but an undulation through the spine. See how that feels. And then you're gonna see, can you shake your shoulders? Right, this might be bouncing your shoulder blades, or it might be shaking them. Either way, you're just gonna see if you can shake your shoulders. And then kind of a funny one, but I like it. Let the muscles of your face hang really loose, and then you're gonna shake your face loose like a cartoon could just wobble side to side. And then you're gonna warm up your hands. And then place your warm hands on top of your belly so that the heat from your own hands can melt those muscles in your abdomen. And you're going to see, can I shake out my breath from my belly with my hands? So breath drops into the belly and you shake it out. And breath drops in and shake it out. And then you know that the vibrations of your voice already exist in this middle part of your body, so you can let your breath come in, pick up some voice, and sigh out, like letting go of any tension or stress that you can, whatever you can let go of, do on your voice as you shake it out from your belly. And breath comes in. And then this time the vibrations are going to travel from your belly to your chest, and you can just thump or tap your chest to to see if there's any more voice vibrations in there. And the thought on your outgoing sigh is let go. New breath comes in, replenishes you, right? Feeds you the oxygen that you need, and you can let go of whatever you don't need on your outgoing sigh. And then you're going to bring your hands up to your own face and just feel the topography of your face, as if your face was a 3D map and you're just getting to know the hills and the valleys of your face. And you notice that you've got this nose mountain, a mountain of your nose that comes out in the middle of your face. And you're going to put your hands at the top of your head, which is like at the top of nose mountain, and sigh a hum onto your lips as your hands travel down your face, almost like a waterfall of vibrations, to then travel through the bones of your face into your hands. Yeah, and a waterfall doesn't hold anything back. It just lets go. And then this time we're going to go from belly to chest to face. And then, because we know that connection is another thing with this relieving stress and completing the stress cycle in our bodies, we just know that even though we're on Zoom, there's still some connection that can travel through the internet and the atmosphere to one another. So I sigh to you, you sigh back to me, and to each other. We open each other, our arms to take each other in. One more like this. And then you're going to feel a big, huge, like sighing yawn that opens up your whole vocal channel. And you might stretch and release your tongue if you feel like you want to do that. And then this time we're going to stretch up to one side. You're going to bend one knee, and it's like you have a quite a strong elastic between your knee and your elbow. And you're just stretching between the knee and the elbow to make the ribs on that side more elastic. And while we do this, we're breathing into our ribs. And then you're going to come up and over to the other side. We're going to breathe into the other side. Right? And we just know while we do this that we're all breathing together. And maybe it's possible that the more I could breathe into my ribs, the more that you could breathe into your ribs. And then you're going to open up towards the ceiling. This is opening up the heart center. And you're looking towards the ceiling, breathing into the front of your ribs. Heart wide open. Breath dropping in and out. And you might even have a sigh that you want to send towards the ceiling and what's beyond that Here. Ah. And then you're going to fold yourself forward and give yourself a huge hug, and your own arms might even wrap around a little bit. I don't know if they'll get there, but like you're giving yourself a hug as much as you can. You're curving through your spine. And maybe we can give 20 seconds of ourselves a hug while we breathe into our ribs. Breathing into those back ribs. Opening up through there. And then maybe there's a sigh that can come from there, through that. And then you're going to let go of your arms and let go of your body to gravity as you start to drop down, down, down your spine. Right? You drop all the way down and stay there, but I'm coming up so I can see that yes, you're hanging all the way upside down. See if you can let go of your arms. Let go of your head and your neck. Let go of your breathing. Your belly muscles are loose like an old cat. And each breath out, or sigh, if you want to use vibration, you come onto vibration if you'd like to. But each outgoing breath or sigh is an opportunity to let go of something you don't need. And you might even name it. Like, oh, I don't need to worry about that thing anymore. I don't need to hold myself against this other thing. Or I don't need to hold my shoulders up. I don't need to hold on to my head. And then you're going to start to uncurl up through your spine, one vertebra at a time. Right? Each time on the breath, you're letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. And when you're all the way up, you're just going to stand and notice how your body feels. And then we are going to feed in 4 huge, deep down, true blue, preferably pleasurable, but not necessarily so, sighs of relief. And each one is going to be an opportunity for a wish for something. So the first one, we're going to feed in a huge sigh that's like a wish for the world globally. Whatever it is, you feed in a huge sigh. Whatever that is. And then your body's ready. And the next sigh is something more personal, a wish for someone you know. And this third sigh is going to wish for yourself, something like for you, something you need or want, a wish for yourself. And then the last sigh is something completely, absolutely frivolous, like something that you might be sort of like, oh my gosh, this is shallow of me, but I want it anyway. We're going to wish for something frivolous, whatever it is. Yeah. All right. And then you're just going to sweep down one side of your body all the way to your foot. And you sweep down the other side all the way to your foot. And because we're turning on our gut brain, we're just going to snap our fingers in front of our belly to remind ourselves that that's our thinking place today. Not always just here, but also here. And that is that for today.